everybody. Welcome to a late night edition, a very late night edition of the Valley
No.
Podcast. Man, it was quite the little drive down to San Antonio, but the win made it worth it, dude.
How far of a drive is that for you?
With no traffic, it would have been about, man, it would have been like an hour and a half. But
okay, it's not that far.
But yeah, it ended up being like hour and 45 minutes or whatever. So not so bad. But getting the win, dude, it made it worth it. Dude,
Yeah.
How was this game on TV? Because in person, it was just like I never felt like there was any chance we were gonna lose until the very, very end.
Same way. On TV, like I said, I'm professional here. I have a whole slew of notes for the first time in a while because, like I said, I was watching at work. But like the way it translated was basically the same way. I didn't feel like we were in trouble until that last 2 minutes. Where I'm like, really, guys? Like, do we have to do this every time? It reminds me so much. I know I bring this up again, but it reminds me. They remind me of the Seattle Seahawks. You know how the Seattle Seahawks used to be, bro? Like, they would never blow anybody out. Like, they would always be in these close games, and they would somehow squeak them out at the end. And you're like, but you're better than the Chicago Bears. But you're better. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up Chicago.
No,
Bears.
I think I know which game you're talking about where you guys squeaked it out against.
Yeah, it's like, but you're better than them. But you're better than all these teams. But you're somehow only winning by 3 points at the end. Same thing with these Suns, man. I just feel like it's very similar, and I feel like that's how Monty probably coaches. I think he just coaches real conservative. Like, we're not really going to coach to blow these guys out. You know, the quote, the great Herm Edwards: "You play to win the game." You know what I mean? Like. And I feel like that's just in his coaching because, like, these guys can play way better than what they normally do. You know, it's just weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain because you wish they would blow people out.
It's just toying with their food for whatever reason, whether or not it's that CP3 is seriously hunting us like an assist title.
Is
or or because he doesn't get it going until the end of games, and then like Booker's just been inconsistent, but thank God he's been good at the ends of games. And then, of course, Chris Paul's good at the ends of games. It feels like they're just sleepwalking through this season. I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but my instincts are that it's a good thing.
Well, I mean, something popped in my head while we were playing because, like I said, even when we talk about how they remind me of the Seahawks, where they just don't blow anybody out or they just let people back in and they play just to win the game in the last part because, like you said, you can't win the game in the first, second, or third quarter. You win it in the fourth. But like they do what good teams do, though. They find a way to win every time. What game was it where it was close not too long ago? The Timberwolves game. Where that game was just unbelievably close. And you're just like, what are they doing? Like, yeah, that's D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, that's Cat, but you're way more talented than the rest of these cats. You know what I mean? So, but at the end of the game, what happened? CP3 just decided to take over. So did Booker. And then they went home after that game went back home, got the dub, done. So they do what good or great teams do. They win. So what can we say? I don't care what everybody says. I know what everybody's been saying. I know we had Tori and Romp on last night, and they were like, well, who did you beat? Doesn't matter. A win is a win. So, and they're doing what good teams do. Win. Bad teams, you know what bad teams do? Find a way to lose.
Yeah, or they get snuck up on,
Right.
They go play these teams that they should beat, and they're not good enough to toy with their food before they eat it. They get beat, and it's like, well, how'd you lose to them? Just one of those nights. Like, we're not even having nights where it's like,
we're not.
We just lost to a team that
we had them in the first 3 games, except for the Lakers game.
But those were good games. Those were Lakers, Blazers, and Nuggets.
That's true. And then the Kings. And then the King games that you just
didn't. The Kings are a good squad. They just had a bad coach who's now gone, and old boy slapped that fadeaway 3 in our face, to win. And it took a heroic effort for them to beat us.
Right.
Beginning of last season, we were losing to teams like Detroit. We'd lose to just the Magic. The day before they traded Vucevic, we lost to the Magic.
Vucevic. Man.
or it might have been the day after he got traded, and they still beat us. So it's just like we were just not like I feel like what I saw tonight was a team that has so many great role players that when some of them aren't on, the other ones are.
Well, that's in my notes. That's definitely in my
Right?
notes. Yeah, Brooks family says Suns are still great though. Yeah, they're still great. Like we're not over here bashing them. I'm just saying it's just a like I said, I because I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm just really comparing this team to that team where they're good, they know they're good, and they still just play to win the game, and that's it. They're not out here trying to blow people out, And so that's what I'm saying. So did you have any mental notes while you were at the game, Gabe? How about this? Let me ask you this first before we get into like the actual mental notes. What was your game experience like in San Antonio?
Walking in kind of feeling it had a weird feeling. Walking in with all my Suns gear and all these Spurs fans kind of looking at me with this like you used
disdain.
to get not so much disdain, but more
you used to get the pitiful look like, oh, how cute, Suns fan here, right?
Oh yeah,
and now that you're winning,
it was
and
weird
now that we're winning and they're looking at you like, oh, the Suns fans here, brand new Suns.
Yeah,
they
like
at you like he was brand new.
They probably
like you like he was brand new, dog.
And there were a lot of Suns fans there, man. There was a ton.
Really.
Oh my God, yeah. We were sitting right next to a couple that were in all Suns gear. And then there was a kid in front of me, like 2 rows down, that was in a Booker jersey, same Booker jersey I was wearing that I got ketchup all over. That's why it's not hanging up over there. And the hot dog was fantastic. The nachos were above average. I got some chicken fingers and fries that I swear to God
let me ask you this.
Cane's.
Let me ask you. Stop it. No,
I'm
let me
not
ask
kidding.
you this. Let me ask you this.
Carson?
How much did all of this cost you?
Oh, everything I described: a soda for my girl, a water for me, nachos for her, a hot dog for me,
chicken fingers.
Fingers and fries.
The chicken fingers and fries were $15-$20, dog.
Under 50 total.
Man, I mean that's not bad for concession stand food, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It wasn't that bad, and it was pretty good taste. And I got Skittles. I got a big ass bag of Skittles.
Man, when I went to the Cardinals game, I got this summer. I got a beer, which was like fucking $18, and I was real pissed off about that. Got a beer, nachos for my kid, hot dog for me, and that by itself was a total of like $35. So you getting all that stuff, you made out like a bandit, bro. Yeah. Made out like a bandit.
I wasn't upset about it, and the quality of the chicken fingers and fries was like I kept.
Well, you're over here saying it's better than Cane's. I mean,
it was the fries. It would blow your mind how I couldn't believe it because you know how they are in concessions. They got a bunch of them stacked up, ready to go, just like ready to hand out. So I give this money. I'm like, man, these fries are about to be cold. Wrong. They were delicious. Oh, they stayed hot the whole meal.
Hey man, concession stands, bro, they're stepping their game up. I don't know who the scientist is in the whole concession stand game, or who's coming up with the techniques that they use to keep their food nice and warm and the whole times are up, but it's working, bro. It's working.
So other than that, the things I noticed being there in person when warm-ups came around, the energy of campaign and just like the dancing, and because like there's a lot of music in the stadium, and when you're at home watching on TV, you don't really get that experience as much.
When you watch on League Pass, you do.
Pass, you get it,
and I watch the League Pass because they always show like the open thing with the music playing before the game starts, and then when the actual broadcast starts, they feed it into your stream. But yeah, you can get the sense that there's constant music playing around. Like I was watching, I think I started my stream like 5 minutes before, and they were announcing some cancer thing at the beginning, and I almost texted you and like, hey, say hi to them for me, like joking. And then but it was just music everywhere, and like you could tell when dudes are dancing stuff in the warm-ups and stuff, like they show it, but it's a widescreen, but you can see it. So yeah, I'm like,
the campaign is just in this absolute euphoric party mentality right now. So they did,
which is odd for a team that just lost in the NBA Finals.
When I know, right? When Booker came out, when they announced Booker, they're like, #1 from Kentucky, 6'6", shooting guard, Devin Booker. And he came out and he had this like badass look on his face. If I can just fanboy out, I swear he walked out like he was the reigning MVP for the last 5 years. This like shit-eating grin on his face where he's walking out and he's like, just walking out like, I'm the fucking greatest. It was crazy, dude. I did not expect that.
You gotta love the confidence, bro.
And so then they did this thing where like, okay, they just do like a boring ho-hum introduction of the Suns.
For the visiting team, obviously.
And then for their team, they're like
the intro video, the package on the
and the whole time what nobody could see unless you were there is the Suns were like mosh pitting each other, going hard, dancing at the like acting almost as if the music for the Spurs was music for them.
They were getting
and
pumped,
they
bro.
were just going rowdy and like having such a good time. And it's just, I felt like right then and there, I was like, there's just no way we're losing this game.
That sounds like, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like a team that likes each other.
They
which is very important on a team, bro. I'm gonna be real. When you see other teams in the NBA, do you get the sense that some of them like each other? Like besides the Bucks, I feel like the team that beat us, I feel like the Bucks like each other, right? I feel like teams like that do. Lakers, I feel like none of them dudes like each other.
See the way the Lakers move on defense that they don't care about each other.
Yeah, so that sounds like a team that likes each other. That sounds like a team that enjoys each other's company, a brotherhood, if you would. So I mean, and it shows. You know, like I said, it shows. This team trusts each other. They figure out ways to win. And that's important. So, what is your analysis of the actual game?
I was just happy that Cam Payne played so good. He got a little shot happy, started hunting for threes, but overall he played really good.
He did.
Chris Paul.
It's Chris Paul.
He looks so short standing next to Booker, bro.
He looks so short standing next to everybody. Bro, he look. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that man gets shorter and shorter every game I watch because it just feels like anytime I see a TV broadcast, like here comes Chris Paul fader and like he's like leaned all the way back and his center's just in his face and he just over the center
high arc
as
hell
into it, and you're just like, bro, you're like 5'11". Let's be real, you're not 6 foot, you're 5'11", bro. Like you're 5'11", 5'10". Like we're not gonna pretend like you're not short, but you're just out here killing them, bro. And like I just feel like he's getting shorter every time you see him on the court. Like, man, is this guy getting shorter? Like, what is happening?
The Spurs reminded me of the Bulls after Jordan Pippen left.
Just that part, bucks. Young, don't know what to do. You know, you still. Well, I mean, there's one difference between the Bulls and them. Like the Bulls lost, Phil Jackson. The Spurs still have Greg Popovich. Like they should still be well coached.
I gotta text Spurs fan Gary because he's gonna get on. He watched the game too.
Man, I want to hear that from that man. Forget that man.
Bum.
Forget that bum. Well, anything else? Well, let me go through this list while you're texting Spurs fan Gary. I wanted to be professional this time. On my worksheet opens like a book, right? Piece of paper. You know how you fold open books in elementary school? Got it. Anyway, so I went by quarter, made notes in the quarters. What I noticed, I didn't get to start the game. Like I watched the 5 minutes of stream. I had to go to lunch. I went to go get something to eat from the cafeteria, ran back as soon as I could. So I kind of didn't get to watch the first quarter till like 8 minutes left. You know what I mean? So I didn't get to watch the first part of it. But tell me if you notice this too. So I wrote this down. Ayton first quarter was aggressive in the post. And I feel like this is a trend they do every time, and I don't understand it, is they feel like they feed Ayton first quarter, second quarter. Second half, who is this guy? Who is this man? But I put that down. Ayton first quarter was aggressive in the post, and I said first quarter, business as usual. They dropped 26 points, 26 points, as we normally do. That seems to be like the magic number, unless we're playing, Sunday where we dropped. How many points did we drop in the force?
48.
Yeah. So like business as usual, we dropped 24 points. So yeah, you got the box score up. So business as usual. So second quarter, the first thing I wrote was campaign game ?
Yeah.
Just to wait and see, because he had already had 9 at that point. I was like, okay, we might be heading for a campaign game. I said starters look like they just played a back-to-back, because they did. They weren't really hitting shots. They were kind of looking lackluster. There was one play where CP3's guarding, I can't remember the dude's name. It was a young guard. The young guard just takes it, jabs, puts up a shot in CP3's face. He reacts late, splash in his face. And at that point, I just said, look, they just look like they just got them playing a back-to-back. They look like they're tired. Fair enough. It's the starters. I said, bench playing well. And I put this in big letters. I want Thaddeus Young.
Okay.
And I put this in big letters because when he got on the court, there were 2 plays that he made on Aiden. And I was like, I want that intensity and I want that hustle.
Especially if we're not going to play sticks whatsoever.
Yes. And there was a point where he got an offensive rebound, like hustled that thing from Aiden, laid that thing back in with Aiden all over him. And I said, you know what? I want that. So I put that down there. I want that Young. Look at this nasty motherfucker right here. I'm playing. So anyway, I wrote that down. And then I put this down. Book DA greater than CP3 the DA ? There seems to be this very underrated connection between Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton in the pick and roll game that, if you've noticed, it works really well when they decide to work, where Booker just feeds him and he's just open. So I feel like that's a good connection. I feel like I would like to see more of that. And then I put this one down. Suns can't seem to hold a second quarter double-digit lead.
No.
SMH. That's what I put. So that's what I had for the first half. I know I got other notes, but Suns fan Gary's here. I'll get to my second half notes later. How you doing, man? Amazing after getting your ass beat.
What are you talking about, dude? My new favorite team won.
I hate you so much.
Suns fan Gary now.
Suns fan
scared me.
Gary.
It scared me at the end, but it pulled it out.
All right. So let me get back to these third quarter notes. So I said, I go, book the DA, underrated, as I said already. I go, campaign airball. Did you see? Not airball. Not he didn't airball, but who was the center that got the ball and stood there and was like, "What'd I do?" And he shot that 3 and just completely missed, and it hit campaign on the side of the fucking head.
Was that a Pirtle 3?
It might have been, or Pirtle, or who's the other guy? Yeah, Eubanks. It was Eubanks, and I just laughed and I put that down there. I go campaign game confirmed because he was cooking. I said campaign get the steak dinner tonight. That's what I said. I said because the bench starters owed him. He really kind of put that thing on his back. I go bench carrying this team tonight. Fourth quarter notes: McGee, Payne, Shamet, group MVP. I go can't close out games, plays down the competition, and then I go 13 straight. So those were my fourth quarter notes there. I feel like the bench really did show out. Shamet, Payne, McGee, maybe Cam Johnson. You know that shooter, Cam Johnson, Gary. No, but
you talking about the one that went 1 for 6?
The one that went 1 for 6 and 1 for 3.
I know. So, but I feel like the bench really did show out. The bench was really did help out with everything, even though Booker still had 23 and 8 had 21 and CP3 had 12. But campaign, McGee, Shamet really showed out for the bench minutes, and I appreciate it.
Hey, let's go back to Ayton real quick. You talked about him in the beginning. So
yes.
By my recollection, he had 15 and 9 at halftime. And I turned to Katie and I was like, they're just going to go away from him. And of course they did. I feel like only like a third of DA's points came off of people trying to get him the ball, and 2/3 of it came from him getting rebounds and putting it back. Same with McGee.
There were a few times he did get the ball and he made some good moves. And I was just like, yo, keep doing that.
Yes.
We need, not like we're keep feeding him, but like he needs to do that consistently. And then there's other times where you're just like, what are you doing? But for the most part today, I was like, okay, yeah, he's looking good. And he needs to keep doing that. And McGee as well.
McGee does the same thing. And I was just thinking, like, Ayton's just like a younger, smarter, better version of McGee.
I don't know about smarter.
He's definitely smarter than McGee as far as like basketball IQ.
I don't know about that, man.
McGee is.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care if he's Shaq. If he's on Shaq in the fool, but McGee is a seasoned vet. He's has more experience than Ayton. I'm not gonna say that. I think McGee is more here and knows and more experience.
They're doing the same exact function on the court, right?
Which is good. Is that a bad thing?
No, what I was thinking is like they are the perfect style of big for what we have with Booker jacking up shots, going 7 for 17. Thank God he went 4 for 7 in the 3-point range. Chris Paul 6 for 12. Crowder 2 for 3, Bridges 2 for 4. 1 for 6 from Cam. It's great that we have these tenacious rebounding glass cleaners that not only get these rebounds, but get putbacks, go to the line, hit their free throws. My question is, do we really pay Ayton a max contract to do only that?
No, you can find.
We're gonna have to.
That's why I'm saying he needs to step up his game as far as making sure you're invaluable in the post. Like you need to step it up.
He's having games like this, 21 and 14 with 5 offensive rebounds.
I'm telling you, if
he's
they
gonna get a max deal somewhere.
If they would feed this man, he would be dropping 30,
25.
30 a game. No, 30
average 25.
Yeah.
30's crazy. 30's like
I'm saying averaging 30, but if they would have kept feeding him this game, he would have had 30 easy.
He'd score 30 more often than he never does.
Yes. Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth.
Go ahead and depress us. Tell us that the Spurs
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that tonight. He is Suns fan Gary.
Suns fan Gary, tell us why the Suns are so great and you wish you had become a Suns fan sooner.
It's just probably the greatest team ever put together in the history of teams, not just basketball.
Keep going.
Well, you're right. Keep going.
Yeah.
Talk about Chris Paul's greatness.
Yeah. He's pretty good.
Gary, I was going to say something because you're really going to like what I'm about to say. You're going to agree with this, even though you're being Suns fan Gary and sarcastic.
Yeah.
Gabe, can we talk about your boy Booker and his tendency to turn the ball over?
Bro, I swear to God, that's what I was going to say.
He was dribbling.
Can we talk about this?
I don't know who was guarding him. I think it might have been Vassell, but he's dribbling, and then like he decides he's gonna go, and he literally just like hands the ball to the Spurs player.
Can we talk about that?
Accidentally hands it to him.
The millions of times where he's driving to the basket and just bam, ball goes out of bounds off his knee. Can we talk about his tendency? Oh my goodness, man.
I looked over your guys' winning streak, and he's got like 30 turnovers.
Yes, bro. He like we were winning in spite of his turnovers. If he would stop turning the ball, like he's got 4, McGee's got 4. I expect McGee to have 4. He's a center. He doesn't handle the ball. But
Chris Paul's turning the ball over a lot too, and I wouldn't count tonight as much because I know you guys might laugh. I think DeJounte's like a top 3 defensive point guard in the league.
I mean, he played good defense. I'm not gonna lie.
He always does. I mean, he's getting to where he's like a triple-double machine, and he causes fit. He's just long. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a mastermind or whatever. He's super long, especially for a point guard. So he gets a lot of steals, but he also gets a lot where he like knocks the ball out, and other guys will get credit for the steal. But I've noticed that I think I was talking to you a little bit about it, Gabe. Is like if you guys do this, you're about to go into a stretch where you play. I was just looking earlier.
Name them.
You play the Warriors twice.
Yep.
You play I don't know. The schedule gets tougher. You got the Clippers in there. You've got I can't remember who else it was. There's another
top going to full schedule.
But if you do this against them, then who gives a shit how these guys are doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, go back up, Gabe. You just passed it up. Cleveland,
The Nets, Boston.
Cleveland, New York, Nets, Gold State, Detroit.
Yeah,
We go back to
Cleveland, New York
y'all.
shouldn't be too big of a trouble yet. I
Clippers,
mean, you'll roll
Portland
through the
again.
Spurs again, Detroit, obviously. But I mean, like in that stretch there, if these guys look like that and you guys still win, then who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like as long as they turn it up in the playoffs. But I feel like it's from an outsider's perspective, and I know Gabe will take it as a hater's perspective, but I'm just being honestly what I see is like, damn, bro, what would it be if you had this part of your schedule first and not that other part, not the part you just ran through with these two
I
playing
don't.
like that?
If I'm being honest.
Or do they
you're
play
talking about-
better?
Oh, okay, no. I get what you're saying. No, you know what? I'm reading to you. I feel like if we had this part of the schedule first, this would not with them turning the ball over like they were and how they how they played starting out the first 3 or 4 games. Oh man, it wouldn't have looked good.
But if to Gabe's point, if they are playing with their food, so to speak, or whatever, you got to think when they start playing better, more serious opponents, they're going to clean shit up and not have that.
I don't mean that in a like derogatory way, like you're our food. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying.
No, you're saying like almost they punch down a little bit, or it's like we don't have to come out balls to the wall.
They do, but like
because we can beat this thing.
If they did, like you would agree, Gary, if they did come out and play balls to the wall like they have, even against who do we play recently up here that was like I felt like it was a lesser team, like Houston. We were closing out like crazy on Houston, dude. Like closing out. Memphis, we were closing out, like playing smothering defense. If we would have done that to the Spurs tonight, I think we could have won by 20.
Yeah, I expected you to win by 20 something.
Okay, so that's what I mean by playing with food. I don't mean to be a dickhead and be like, "You're our food poverty franchise." It's
like I said, I compared him to like the Seahawks. Like whenever the Seahawks would play people, like in the I mean, we're still in the Pete Carroll era, not for long though, but in the Pete Carroll era, like the Seahawks would always play close games to teams that they should beat by 20 every time, but they would win. I kind of get the same vibe where they're just like. They're playing like it's just weird, man. It's just odd. Like you should be demolishing these teams by, like you said, 25, 30 points a game. And you sort of just let them stick around and then you just figure out a way to win at the end. So
we're going to find out one way or another whether this is just wishful thinking, Gary. And it could be wishful thinking, but it could be what's really happening. I just think there's at least like a 50% chance this is what's really happening. We do play up or down to whomever we're playing. It's just how we do it. When we play the Lakers, we play with pride. There's no question we're going to close out. We take it seriously. When we do that, we usually win because we do have a deep bench. I know that a lot of people might think we don't have a deep bench. I personally think we do. We might have 3 shooters every single night that go over, but we also have – that's why we have 6 potential shooters. And don't make me name them because we have more than 6. And don't make me name them because I'll get heated, Gary. Shamit.
You don't have 2.
Mikhail.
I'm just kidding.
CP3. Book.
Mikhail. Can we talk about Mikhail?
What about Mikhail?
Okay, Mikhail had a bad – full game until the very end, and he had a couple of clutch things that dug us out of trouble.
I'm just curious, like, what is it that makes a guy like a stud or like that contract? Do you think he's worth that contract?
I think he's worth the contract now because I feel like they're just getting ahead of the wing price. I think the price of the wing is just going to continue to skyrocket. I think they gave him that contract. I think they gave him that contract to get ahead of it.
Here's why I say yes, because what it means to me that he's worth it is that I feel like he is a piece that is a championship piece on a champion. He can be a good role player on a championship winning team. So why not?
Right. But I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying are role players on championship teams worth $90 million? Is Bobby Portis $90 million?
If that's what it takes, if that's what the market dictates, I'm not going to get hung up because I look at Brooklyn, who's allowed to stack every all-star from 2010 and beyond, and they're all
But
making
they're
it work.
not built for longevity.
They're built to win a title now, and we only have this Chris
Yeah, but
Paul
you're
window.
not.
Yeah, we are.
Well, that's my point then. If you're in that window for that, why are you spending $90 million on a 30-year guy when you could go get legit big man depth? I know you like McGee, but
So we gave him 90 mil for how many years?
I don't remember.
It's 4.
4.
I was going to say 4, but I don't
So
know.
Chris Paul has 2 more of it. It's just what it took. It's just what the market dictated.
I don't think it's that big of a, like I said, I think it was a good contract because of timing. Like I said, I feel like it's sort of a security blanket for them in case he does end up turning into something. Okay, cool. The prices of wings are going to skyrocket. We got him before that market jumps up. I just feel like it was a sort of deal to get ahead of everything. And
I guess
so. Do I think it's worth it? I think it's worth it in my opinion. Just because
I guess my question is more, what do you expect out of the dude to be like, all right, he's worth the 90 million? Is it not a game to game basis? Is it not a personal performance? Is it we need to win the title and him be a solid role player? Or do you expect him to get a certain amount of points? Do you expect him to lock down the number one offense on the team you're playing?
I expect him to be a solid defender because he is. I expect him to drop at least, I don't know, not a lot of points, like not like 20 or
13
or 25.
20,
yeah, like in double digits, 13, 20 a night, and play solid defense.
Play consistent defense where every night you feel like he played up to his potential.
And to be honest, he's been doing that. Yeah, he's been doing that this year, except for this game.
Like they were confused, like not confused. They were certain that I was just fanboying out on Mikal. Like the three of us, the three horsemen, haven't just been terrible to Mikal. We were so inflammatory towards Mikal.
Yes,
in the playoffs, and
I murdered that man.
Yeah, and when he got that money, we raked his name through the mud. God bless his soul. We have no vested interest. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not out here just trying to fanboy. We're watching every minute of him, and he's really not doing anything to make me disappointed anymore, like I was last year. You feel that way, Sundo?
Yeah, I feel like he's doing his part. And that's basically all I can say about him.
Like I'd compare to Dak Prescott.
Here's my thing of him. I know he's doing it now. I need to see it in the playoffs. Like it's easy to do it now, regular season. That's true. People, you know what I'm saying? It's regular season
because he shrank in the playoffs.
Yeah, dudes are just trying to get through games, whatever. It's really, really. I'm not gonna say it's real easy because they're still professional basketball players, but it's the regular season. I need to see it in the playoffs. So Gary, that's my thing.
Can we put this Mikal topic on ice until the playoffs to see how he does during the playoffs?
I feel like he's gonna be fine this season. He was fine last season until the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't see it. Like to me, I think he's just a ton of hype, and I don't hate the dude. I'm not shitting on it. I just don't.
He's a jag?
I'm just super surprised they spent $90 million on him. Like I know everybody is like, oh, he's a D and 3, he's 3 and D, he's D and 3. He's had two games,
back to back like that?
3D,
yeah,
3D,
and that's all you hear is like, oh, he's this. It's like, okay, I could rattle off a list of 100 guys in the league that are considered that I wouldn't pay $90 million. But it's like, I was looking back earlier and like in your guys' last 10, 12 games, he was 3 for 3 from the 3-point line twice. Other than that, he's like 0 for or 1 for. Like he's not a consistent 3-point shooter. He had, I think, one game where he had 3 steals. Other than that, he has like 1, maybe 2, a lot of zeros, but with turnovers. So it's like where you're gaining your possessions from him. I haven't broke down or looked. Like when I'm watching him, to be honest with you, the reason I always bring this up and ask, I forget that he's on the court until I see his shoes from time to time. Like he has that little of an impact. Or like you said, the end of tonight's game, he had some nice shit and was involved with as it got down to the wire and everything. Like I said, I'm not shitting on the dude. It's just I always get surprised when I hear like on here, like people either in the chats or when he gets brought up, like people talking him up. It's like, God damn, man, half the time I'm watching the game he's playing in, and I forget he's on the court until I see the yellow shoes. And sometimes he does nice shit. That's what I'm saying. I'm not just bashing the dude. I don't think he's garbage. But it's like, man, I'm either way undervaluing him or people are
Okay.
overvaluing him. And when you look at like his numbers lines over the last few games, it's like very, very mediocre.
Gary says he's a jag, just another guy.
I know that you're gonna scoff at this, right? This is good. This is gonna be just so blasphemous. And how dare I?
I know I'm waiting for this.
Here we go, Kawhi.
Just let me use.
We can get a Kawhi
name.
comparison.
Let me use that name. Let me use that name briefly. Now, Kawhi is a different breed.
I don't even think he's Kawhi.
Kawhi is a different breed.
I don't think that's the comparison.
Here's the thing, though. Somebody get me that stat image where it shows the two of their stats each year in the progression of their career. And Gary, I kid you not, bro. I kid you not. Not only do they both get better every year in each statistical category, it's like almost the exact same number. So now I don't think he's going to be an MVP. He doesn't really like Kawhi learned to go get his own shot. Mikhail doesn't go get his own shot. He doesn't use the ball. He doesn't dribble it to go get his own bucket. So I'm not saying, all I'm saying
right,
is
that's how Kawhi was early on too. If
Okay.
Kawhi didn't have that little corner jumper, he didn't even attempt a shot.
Yeah, but you saw it with Kawhi though. I'm gonna be real. I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm gonna be real. When I saw Kawhi Leonard, like when he was young, I was like, that dude's gonna be special. I saw that with Kawhi. Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, I saw that with Kawhi Leonard. Like, I was like, this dude's gonna be good. Like, as he progresses through his career with Popovich, he's going to be good. And he was. And then he left y'all. But he was good. So I'm gonna be real. I'm kind of with Gary on this one. I don't see that with Bridges yet.
I don't see it with Bridges.
Now, that could be
statistically, it would freak you out how similar
that's
their
great.
advancement
That's
every
great.
year has been.
That's great news, and I hope it continues to progress. And if he turns out to be that way, be that great. But I also think that could be because we're distracted by Booker, Paul. But then again, Kawhi was on the team.
What could Bridges do on this team if, look at that, if 30 shots weren't taken between Ayton and Paul, and if Booker didn't have 17, and if Payne didn't have 12, what if he played on a team? Like, I really think he would look statistically more flattering if he was on a team that didn't have so many damn shooters. And
shooters are people who need the ball, or people who are going to have the ball.
Right, and I get that. But why? So then to me, it goes back to the D&3 thing more. Like, he's not a consistent 3-point shooter. And why isn't he? So like that argument I would say with Kawhi, when nobody expected offense from the dude, he would guard LeBron, Durant, Curry, Chris Paul. He would guard whoever the top offensive guy was and drastically change their stat line for that game. I don't see Mikhail doing that. He might cause fits for the guy he's on from time to time. I'm not even saying he's a bad defender. I think he's a really good defender. But he's not a versatile enough defender to say, hey, go at least slow down that guy that's playing the 4 and then go slow down this shifty 1 the next game. Where I would, to me, justify a $90 million paycheck if I'm basically paying a guy to hit spot up threes and lock somebody down. I don't think he's bad at all. I don't think he's even close to developed. And to me, that's more the answer if I'm arguing for the Suns is like, dude, we scouted this dude from college. We traded to get him after the draft. We've worked with him every day. We keep him our starting lineup for a reason. Like, we see tons of potential with this dude. We know where he's going to be by the end of that 90 million 4-year deal or extension, whatever it was. Like that makes more sense to me than anything that we've like seen. Like, you see flashes of it, but not.
That's what I'm saying. I think they gave him that contract to get ahead of it.
I don't disagree with that because you're right about the wings.
Yeah, because I feel like they kind of see him trending that way. And I said this too, after the season was over, and I said, you know what? I see Mikhail getting better and better. I hope that he becomes that third option or whatever. And maybe they see that. Maybe that's why they haven't given Ayton a contract, because maybe they project him being that third guy, and they may just say, hey, we don't need to pay Ayton. We have this guy. So I don't know. I just know that I feel like it was a good contract just to get ahead of it. Because like you said, paying a wing later is going to be painful for everybody.
So you see what they paid Michael Porter Worthless Jr.
Why do people say he's worthless? I feel like he has more of an impact on Denver than Mikal does for the Suns.
He's a solid scorer.
Yeah.
He is really good. He is really talented. But he got a full max. But I don't think that statistically he's that far off from what Mikal is doing.
It's also the Denver Nuggets. Like, you got to give players the max or they leave. Same thing with Utah. Like, you got to get players the max or they bounce. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think of location in that too. Players don't want to be in Denver. Players don't want to be, sorry, people who live in Denver or whatever. Players don't want to be there. Players want to go to LA, New York, all the big markets. So, you gotta shell out the max for players like that to stay there. I mean, ask Utah Jazz fans how they feel about all their players leaving whenever freaking who's the white dude? Gordon Hayward bounced. They were real upset about that. You know what I mean? Like, they know that players aren't going to want to stay there for a long time. They will eventually leave because it's Utah. It's Denver. It's places players don't want to be. They'd rather be in bigger markets. So, you give him the max. You pay him to make him stay. Same thing with Anthony Davis. Like, New Orleans had to give him the max. And then they traded him, but they gave him the max to get him to stay. That's just how the NBA works.
We're lucky we didn't have to give him the max.
Bridges isn't playing like a max player.
We're super lucky we didn't have to give Campaign some crazy number to stay.
Campaign stayed because that we know why Campaign took that money, took that contract. We know why. The Suns took a chance on him. They gave him a second chance. He feels, dedicated. He feels wanted, and he feels, he owes Monty and the Suns organization for giving him a chance. He even said it on Twitter. Remember when he was like, this free agent thing is great, trolling everybody like he was going to leave. And he was like, haha, just kidding. You thought I was leaving? No, I would never leave. So we know why Campaign did his contract. He did.
I don't see anybody doing that in San Antonio lately.
Stop it.
Doing what?
Just taking friendly deals to stay home.
Let's be real. I'm sorry, Gary, but San Antonio ain't got no talent down there to do that right now. So
nobody's selling.
They're working on it. They're working on it. They don't
have anybody that's been there longer than 6 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're working on it, but they ain't got the talent for that right now. Like, they have dudes in and out. They don't have that person. They start winning, somebody will want to be there. I promise you that.
How bad were you hoping you'd win just so you could be the team that
broke the streak,
that made us all upset and start pointing fingers and kicking each other off the podcast?
Why would you be upset if you did lose that game? I'd be like getting upset.
People would have been upset. Iverson would have hung himself.
I wouldn't have been upset. I even said before I go, it's a back-to-back. I could see us losing this game just because they may come out flat. It's a back-to-back, but let's be real. That very well could have been a reality. Go back and look at that box score and look at who all your positives were. It definitely wasn't none of your starters. It was all your bench players who were your positives. So if it wasn't for the bench, we probably would have lost that game.
Yeah, I mean,
those are just the facts.
I don't know. I just don't get hung up on the game-to-game deal in the NBA. You know what I mean? It's too long of a season. You're going to always be able to look back at the end of the year and see a garbage team beat a stud team lost to a garbage team, and it has zero outcome on the end of the season.
Which is exactly why I told Romp and Tori last night, it doesn't matter as long as we're winning the game, because you play to win the game.
Or as long as you get a decent enough seed in the playoffs that you can make a run. Like, that's the end game. It's not making the playoff.
Yeah. No,
it's getting a good seed in the playoffs. Exactly, and then the season starts.
And definitely not playing in that play-in tournament. Yuck.
Right.
We'll be playing totally different basketball, I believe, come playoff time. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's going to be different. They're not going to be playing the same way.
I hope not.
Right now, they're sleepwalking. But I'm happy they're good enough to sleepwalk through wins. We did not used to be good enough to sleepwalk through a win versus San Antonio, where they just won't stop hitting threes. When Booker won that tip, which
He didn't win. He
didn't win the tip.
He didn't win the tip.
I leaned to the dude next to me.
Chris Paul boxed out on the tip.
Yeah, he didn't win the tip.
I leaned to the dude next to me who's a Suns fan, and I go, "Ain't no way Booker gets this tip." Like,
no,
he didn't.
Lonnie Walker.
Over Lonnie Walker. I was like, Lonnie Walker's a jumper.
It went
Dude, Lonnie Walker could jump over Booker after Booker was at his max height.
Dude.
And so when he won the tip, when he gained possession, when he gained possession and then went down there and something happened and he hit like a little float, like a Euro floater. I was like, I had this feeling like that's it. That's game. That's it. They come right down the court and slap a 4 horseman 3 right in our face. It's like, damn it, they just won't go away. We didn't used to be able to sleepwalk through that. Games like this. This is the type of shit that used to bite us.
Yes, but also when like you didn't play that bad as Spurs teams either. It's like the Suns got drastically better, but the Spurs are drastically worse. There's a lot of teams that are drastically worse. Like I'm going back to the schedule now, how you've gone through this stretch. Like I hope you're right with the sleepwalking and they can turn it on when they play better teams. But there is a part of me that's like, when I asked you guys the other night about if this team's better than the playoff team, not this team last year at this time, but the playoff team better than this team now. And I said, I don't think it is. And like I said, part of what worries me is if all these, close games or these sleepwalk wins start turning into close games that are losses or a couple big bad losses, if teams go on runs that they don't stop. You know what I mean? Like the Spurs today, when you guys were up, the Spurs went on that little 6-0 run and it was like this huge momentum swing. And all of a sudden there was a game, then the Spurs went on a 7-0 run and all of a sudden there was a ball game out of it. But the Spurs would hit these spots where they couldn't hit wide open shots. They'd have 3 guys going for a rebound and they'd knock it out of bounds or bump it to one of you guys. Like good teams aren't going to do that. Mature teams aren't going to do that. You got a lot of young guys that are playing sloppy basketball, making a lot of mistakes. And that's cool. You beat them. Like, yeah, you guys are 100% right. I agree with you 1,000%. But I'm saying what's going to happen when you play some of these other teams that don't do that and those turn into losses. And now that's fucking with the head. Because right now, the Suns have to be confident as shit going into every game that they're basically untouchable. Like they have every right to feel that way. But if that stuff starts going the other way, look at Nebraska, Gabe. Like if we were eking out these wins that we happen to always lose by a last game possession, that changes everything. Like we talk about it all the time. So I hope you're right with the turning it on and doing their thing. But I don't know, man. I just worry that if you rattle off a couple losses or some close games or do whatever, especially when your studs aren't scoring on a consistent basis that you're used to having them score at, you're causing a lot of turnovers, a lot of self-inflicted wounds. I don't know. I don't know how quick. Maybe they need that to flip that switch so they start looking like last year's playoff team. I don't know how they react or handle it. I'm just saying, to me, there's not a lot, but there's just a big question mark of like, what happens when they play the other half?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a question mark. I feel like, let me put it this way. Let's just get there and see. I have confidence that they will play well and they'll continue to keep winning the games. Like, I feel like they're going to, at least they can beat Golden State and those teams like that if they play well. So we'll see. I kind of agree with you, and I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, like I said, you can only play what's in front of you and learn. And like Gabe said, I just feel like they just kind of not like play with their food, but just I just feel like they might be just be BSing sometimes. Like,
watch how they come out and play against Brooklyn.
That's the kicker right there. But it's a back-to-back though. I don't think they're gonna take. But how? It's a back-to-back.
But aren't you the one that said it's not like they have any travel? They just walk across the street.
But I also said it's New York, and they might have the New York flu.
What is the New York flu? Oh, staying out all night partying?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I remember like
Late night.
Yeah,
I
parties.
don't think you can. Isn't New York shut down at like 7 o'clock at night now?
Maybe you might be right. I don't know. I live in New York. That's a blue state. I live in a red state.
Thank God.
I live in a red state. I don't know what that is. So it's whatever. You know, Casey's gas stations down the street open 24/7. They ain't worried about that. They don't know what that is. Half of St. Louis is open too. So, you know, maybe does New York close early?
I got to imagine. I mean,
I thought them in LA or California, whatever, went back to like the pretty strict COVID shit
during the winter. That makes sense. People are getting sick. It is New York. They got a million people. They got a billion people there. So
I got a question, Sundo. What do you? I guess for both of you, I guess we can let Gary answer it.
Oh my gosh.
So, what's our win streak? I'm losing track.
13.
What a dick thing to say, right, Gary? I'm losing track. You said 13?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, seeing the schedule ahead, what does our number end at? Our record is 17. We've never done a bigger streak.
Listen to me. We're beating Cleveland.
14.
We're beating New York.
Not 2.
I think it ends in Brooklyn.
Not 3.
Actually, you know what? No. I take that back. Brooklyn's been looking like straight. I feel like Brooklyn's been looking like straight booty cheeks.
Doo-doo.
So it could end in Brooklyn, but you're right. But it's potential. The litmus test is Golden State. The litmus test is Golden State. That's where I can't give you a for sure answer.
Can I be honest? I don't see a loss in front of me.
Hold on. Time out. Let me just be okay. I'm gonna be objective here. Let me just ask.
One of the Golden State games.
Listen,
that's my prediction.
I agree with you, but you said you don't see a loss. So Cleveland, obvious answers. New York, same way. Brooklyn, we're both saying that they're not playing good recently. They don't play defense. No Kyrie. Harden's having a hard time adjusting to the new rules. He can't get his buckets like he used to. KD's basically the only one putting buckets into that team. So, all right, we could win that. It's a back-to-back. We could also lose that, but whatever. Golden State. You tell me what you see that in Golden State that tells you that that's a for sure win and you don't see a loss, because I'm telling you that team plays similar to us and, in my opinion, better than us in that same style.
I hope that I can find this to show you. So I was watching Famous Los 32.
Who?
Famous Los 32.
Oh, my boy. Okay.
And he put up a video showing Golden State. Okay, found it. You know?
All right, play it.
This is what makes me think we're going to beat them. And what makes me think we're better than them. All right.
Watching this game. Turn on. I can't watch this game without Steph. I feel like I'm getting worse at basketball. I feel like I'm losing IQ watching this game. Turnover. Watch this possession. Man, what is going on?
Dude, the wait. Time out. Press pause real quick.
Look.
Press pause real quick. The the dimensions of however the video is showing to me, this looks like midgets playing basketball. I'm confused, and I know these are real basketball players, but the dimensions of this video, it looks like midgets playing basketball. Continue.
Watch this. They ain't done. What is going on? This is comedy.
Yeah, but
this is comedy.
Bitch. And he said without
Curry. Are you turning this game off?
Pause it. Time out.
What the hell am I watching?
Time out. Pause it. What you're trying to tell me is that their bench is atrocious and our bench is so much better than them. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Not exactly. What I'm trying to say is, if you can take away, or you can't take away Steph Curry, not in this form. But if anybody can negate Curry, it's your boy.
Who?
CP3.
Maybe. CP3 also had
defender.
CP3 was also looking suspect, getting 3 splash in his face today. So
he's going to be off of 3 days rest.
It's 2, but whatever. I looked at it. When they go from Brooklyn, New York, it's 2 days. They play Brooklyn. Well, maybe you're right. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 2 days rest.
Saying,
2 nights rest.
Let's just say our backcourt of Book and CP3 can nullify what Curry does. And then this is the rest of their team compared to the rest of our team. So I'll take back what I was saying, because it was a bit overzealous. All right?
A little bit.
Here's what I'm saying now. In this stretch, there's 3 games I think we potentially lose.
Name them.
Potentially Brooklyn, because it's Brooklyn plus a back-to-back.
I've said that.
Golden State.
Yes.
Or Golden
Obvious
State.
Reasons.
Or Golden State. That's it. But I think we could easily win all 3 of those games.
Just depends. Like I said, those are the litmus tests.
It's just, are we possible of doing a streak? Is anyone possible of doing a streak that long? That's the other thing that makes me feel like we can't.
Why don't you see what the longest streak in NBA history is and find out?
Yeah, I had that pulled up. I know that
ours sure golden. Is it golden? Let me look up.
Ours is 17. Hitting 17 means we need to get through Brooklyn and Golden State.
Longest winning streak in NBA history is 33 straight games by the 71-72 LA Lakers.
The Spurs had 20 or 22 a couple years ago.
All I want to do is just break our record. I'd be so happy if we could just
that would be cool.
Detroit and then maybe lose the next night in Golden State.
That would be cool. That would be nice. But like I said, we will see. I'm not saying we can't do it. I'm just saying that's a hell of a litmus test coming up. That is it, because you're going to New York, you're playing on a back-to-back, you're playing a really talented team in Brooklyn, and then you're gonna go home on 3 nights. Let's say it's 3 nights rest: Saturday night, Monday night, Tuesday night. Oh no, 2 nights rest. 2 nights rest, man. Like, and then you playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 nights rest. I'm stupid. I don't math well. So 3 nights rest. Then you're going to play Golden State at home. That's possible.
There's another couple trap games down there.
All of these games are trap games, bro.
Los Angeles, depending on how they're playing. The Clippers. Portland gets us at home. The only place they play worth a damn, apparently.
Portland, yep.
And it's on the second day of a back-to-back.
You're looking too far ahead. Let's just worry about getting to those 2 Golden State games.
I agree.
That's where the streak lies. After that, don't have to just forget about it. Like I said, that's the real litmus test. If we play well through that road trip and well against Golden State, we'll be fine. Then I will say we're a good team. And that's it. We don't even have to beat them. We just got to play well.
We've got a chance to end this at right around exactly an hour. How do you feel about that?
It feels crazy.
I mean, we did get started super hella late. Anything else you have on this game, Sundo?
I don't know. Michael says, Gary, how do you feel about these takes?
What's that?
Oh, I'm sure he's just biting his tongue. His tongue has to be.
There's nothing for him to bite. For you, maybe. I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just saying, look, that's the litmus test, and we'll see. You're the one saying, I don't see a loss on the record on the schedule.
I recanted immediately.
Like, you're the one who said, I don't see a loss. And I'm like, you tell me what
I don't see.
You don't see. And then you show me
I don't see a guarantee.
Then you show me a 50-second clip of Fabulous Los, who's my guy, and I love Fabulous Los. He's hilarious. But you show him showing a 50-second clip of him making fun of the Golden State Warriors bench players versus the Detroit Pistons of all teams. And you're like, this is why we're going to win. No.
In all fairness to Gabe, though, if you guys had come off back-to-back losses and we're looking at the schedule, he'd go, I don't know, man. Hopefully we can beat Cleveland and Detroit. But other than that, we're probably going to lose every game on there. But since they've been winning, he's like,
right.
I don't know. Probably straight.
Right.
Good thing we don't ever
Sweep
have to
the
worry about
playoffs.
that, do we?
Sweep the playoffs.
So here's my deal. Cleveland.
Trap game.
I don't know. I bet the trap game because Rubio, Kevin Love.
Trap game.
I don't know much about New York, so I'm gonna need y'all.
I
to tell me,
think
besides Julius
that's
Randle.
where I think you guys lose is New York.
In New York, which one? New York or Brooklyn?
The Knicks. And it's
Why
because
you say that?
it's because I think the focus is going to be on Brooklyn. So I think the Knicks is a trap game. The Knicks have the best defense you guys have played probably in this entire stretch, this entire 13-game stretch. And I think the closest was the Kings as far as defensive rankings go. But the Knicks don't shoot a ton of threes, which you guys are a great rebounding team. You get a lot of extra possessions off teams missing threes when they're jacking them up and not hitting them. They don't shoot a lot, and they do a really good job at keeping teams from going on huge runs. You go back and look at their games. They're not big, high-scoring games because the way Thibodeau coaches and everything goes down, they do a pretty good job of keeping teams from going on big runs, and that's where you guys excel. You'll start off on a big run or at some point at the end of the first quarter, like tonight. I mean, the Spurs were winning most of the first quarter. You guys ended it up by 4 because you ended on like a 7-0 run or some shit. The Knicks do a pretty good job of keeping teams from doing that. And I just think after the stretch of wins, the kind of like play with your food, nonchalantness, cockiness, whatever you want to call it that we've talked about, I think it kind of catches up and gets them in because they're thinking
he's using the old football cliche. They're gonna punch you in the mouth. Punch you in the mouth.
They're probably thinking we'll just get these Knicks out of the way and then we'll worry about the real test when we play Durant and Harden and blah blah.
I'll be real, bro. I don't even think Brooklyn's a real test. Go look at Brooklyn.
I'm not too worried about Brooklyn.
I got another theory.
Go to Brooklyn. Go to Brooklyn.
Chris Paul and/or Booker get so excited about the fact that they're playing in the Garden.
Who gets excited?
Chris Paul or Booker.
The Garden.
And one of them goes.
Is that your Marv Alberts?
No, we're just basically saying everything like
Horsemen.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Horsemen, but it isn't far off from Marv Albert, so that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. Oh, Karl Malone MVP. Oh, from downtown. Oh, I love Marv Albert, even though he, had that allegation against
both
him.
Of those games. Those teams get to see us. I remember those allegations.
Even though you had those really, really bad allegations against them.
So we get a night in between, but the Knicks and the Nets get us on 3 days rest each. One of those teams might catch us slipping on 3 days rest.
Go to their.
What do you mean 3 days?
Go to their stats. Go to their stats. I need to see they
play Wednesday and then they get 3 days to play us.
You got 2 days. You got 2 days off.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
24, 25, all of 27.
Thursday, Friday.
What?
Come on.
Go to their stats, bro.
Oh, you're talking about them. How much rest they have?
Them. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about you guys. My bad.
No.
Go to their stats, bro. So Harden's averaging 21. KD's averaging KD numbers.
Horsemen.
Aldridge is suspect. Patty Mills, no. Harris, no.
Patty Mills ain't nothing.
Bro, let's talk about Blake Griffin stealing their money. Man. Aldridge too, but Blake Griffin especially. He got that extension. That dude's been straight doo-doo.
Game. That's not that bad.
Claxton.
Yeah, he's played in like 4 games.
Really?
They didn't play much.
$16, 21, 23. Yipes. 1, 9, and 6. Those kind of tanked him.
So I don't know. It just depends on what nets we get. I just feel like Gary might be right. I don't feel like the Nets will be much to worry about. They have
Yeah.
KD, yes, but they're really top heavy.
Top heavy.
Really top heavy. Like Angela White top heavy.
Oh, that is top heavy. That's as top heavy as it gets, if I'm being honest. Naturally top heavy is what you're saying they are.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Even though they bought their team. Oh!
Jazz got beat by the Grizz.
Well, good teams are allowed to have bad losses.
Let's see what your boy Romp was fapping to earlier.
He wasn't fapping to nothing. There's no Ben Simmons there.
Oh, Tyrese Maxey. Oh.
That game was really close until the fourth quarter. You see there 25-12.
Wow.
There was a lot of back and forth.
Maxey 0 for 3. Not a shooter, Romp. Not a shooter. 8 for 22. That is Donovan Mitchell-esque.
Oh no! Don't talk about Donovan Mitchell. That'll hurt Gary's feelings.
Yeah,
he wishes Donovan Mitchell was on the Spurs.
I like Donovan Mitchell because he's so short and inconsistent.
I like Donovan Mitchell. I think he's a solid player. I think he's a real go-getter. I like him, but he's not better than Booker.
He's not. Don't giggle. There won't be any giggling tonight. There won't be. Do the giggling on your own time. Sundo, anything else, man?
No, man, I got my notes, bro. It was a fine game. We won. They got through it. Like you said, I wasn't really concerned until that last 2 minutes when they went on that run. And like, why are we letting this get close? That just seems to be a habit of ours. But
we did it last year, all year.
So I don't know. I'm not really that much worried. We'll see what these next few games coming up: Cleveland, New York, Brooklyn, then Golden State. So look out for that. These next 4 games, this is a real litmus test.
Horsemen. All
right, man. Hopefully I get to see you Wednesday at some point. We go late enough,
Probably not. That's my last day before Thanksgiving. I'll probably be working like extra overtime.
You're gonna be on to them greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. Before we get out of here, bro. Let me tell you something about Thanksgiving, bro. Thanksgiving is, in my opinion, the best holiday in America. Yes, better than the 4th of July. Yes, better than Christmas. Thanksgiving is that. 4th of July second because when it comes to food, but it's hot as fuck outside and I'm not dealing with that. So I love Thanksgiving, football, food, family, the 3 F's the 3 greatest F's in the world, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Football, food, family. What more could you want for?
There's another F.
What's that? What's the other one?
Oh, you're leaving it out, but it's cool. It's fun too. Nothing, man.
What is that?
Nothing, man. Keep going.
All right. So anyway,
the right logo isn't up there.
Oh, gotcha. Football, food, family. Let me tell you something about you just put After Dark up there. Let me tell you something, man. Can we discuss this real quick? Because I know you want to get off of here, but I'm going to ask these people in the chat. How many of y'all really like Christmas? All right. How many of you guys really, really love Christmas? And I can't stand Christmas. Thank you, Gary. And I got a point to say. I love Christmas. I'm not gonna lie. I love Christmas. I love the season. I love the music. I love seeing my family. Me and my wife just had this argument because I'm like, man, Thanksgiving's coming up. We're gonna have good food. I'm gonna go to her parents' house, and then later in the night, we're gonna go to my parents' house. I'm just eating all day, right? She goes, oh, by the way, I forgot. We got to buy Christmas presents for everyone. And I immediately got pissed off because I had to think about this. I'm going to hang out with the same people 30 days before Christmas for free. All right? For free. We're going to eat food, the same food we're going to eat for Christmas probably. You know what I'm saying?
So
and it's for free. So now, 30 days later, I got to buy you stuff to hang out with you.
Simple fix, bro. Simple fix. White elephant.
No.
Maybe call it black elephant if that makes you feel more comfortable.
I don't even know about that. I'm just saying, bro, like It's just it's frustrating to me, man. Like, I gotta buy all these things for people.
White elephant. You get all of them in a room together. You draw names out of a hat. Everyone is assigned one person. You put a limit. It could be, a decent little limit, since now you're not required to buy gifts for everyone. And it's fun because it's a secret Santa situation.
No, we don't do that, bro. She's
That's
like,
what white people do.
well,
and it
works.
works.
Well, Mike's white. She's the one doing this, so she be quiet.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's like, we got to get stuff for my nieces and nephew and your niece and nephew, and then stuff for my mom and dad, stuff for your mom and dad. And I'm like, I don't live with these people. Like, I don't want to buy them nothing. I don't live with them. I see them once, I see them twice, 3 times, a year. I see them on 4th of July.
A pack of socks and give each of them.
Man, I swear to God, that's what they'll get. I'm telling you, because man, like I see them maybe Easter, maybe 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's it. I don't see these people on my birthday. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, that's the thing. It just drove me nuts. I was like, man, I got to pay to hang out with the same people that I don't like. Let's start there.
It takes on a total different meaning once you become at the age of where you're the one buying the gifts.
Man,
it's completely different now. Now you probably feel like you're getting bent over a barrel.
Yes, Pedro. I have my tree up already, if you can see through there. I didn't put it up. My wife put it up. I didn't put it up. I ain't putting that shit up.
That's a hint to start throwing gifts under it.
So she put it up already. Yeah, ain't even Thanksgiving and she got it up. The whole front of the house is lit up with Christmas stuff already.
She all you want is the yams, ham,
bro. Thank
potatoes,
you,
tomatoes.
I want to get there first. I just want to get to the greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes, hams, lambs, hogs, chickens, turkey, rabbit. You name it. That's what I want. That's what I want. Okay, and I can't even get there, and I'm already worried about Christmas presents. I got to work overtime. I had to work overtime last week just to buy Christmas presents. I ain't with it. We got to stop the materialistic stuff, people. All right. Food, family, football. That's all you need in your life.
That's the Valley After Dark message tonight. I fuck with it, man.
I'm with you, dude. Especially when you got your own kids and you're buying shit, doing all that. And then you've got, like you said, nieces, nephews.
That's already tough enough.
And you got like my wife and I, we each had a kid when we got together. So we've got like extra families that they go to that send them with shit for those cousins or those
and you don't even know those people. You don't know them. Sunday is not for the kids. It's not what I'm saying, Michael. I'm for my own kids. All right. For my own kids. All right. Like, man, like I want to get stuff for them. I don't want to get stuff for little Junior over there. I don't know him. He's probably gonna slap me in the face anyway, joking. I don't like you. All right. And man, I'm just saying, like, oh man, I just want to get stuff for my own kids.
Yeah, because like it's tough because you're trying to. It's bad enough the expectations you have to take care of your own kids, like the kids' expectations, because they're too young for empathy. They don't understand.
Right. They don't understand
money. They don't know how money works. Money is like a Avengers movie to them. Like they don't understand how none of that shit works. They don't understand how CGI works.
And let me tell you, man, I'm gonna turn this. This is gonna sound real bad. I'm gonna turn this into a cultural thing. No, a cultural thing. I never had this issue until I married my wife and I had to go to Christmas with her family. All right. My family knew what was up. Okay. They knew what the deal was.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to be real with you.
It doesn't even have to be cultural, honestly. It's not about culture, bro. It's about love languages. Have you read that book, The Love Language?
Yes, I read Love Language.
Okay. So you know about the people where their love language is gift giving. And if they're a family in which what they do is gift giving, you're fucked.
Man. But bro, I'm just telling you,
because to them, that's what love. They don't understand. Look, what is this? You mowed my lawn. Get me a gift with a bow on it. Like that's the type of people some people are.
Hey, you probably right, bro. Because in my family, like
my family, luckily, is not like that.
Yeah, my entire family was not about like I got gifts, right? And I love my parents. I remember the best Christmas I ever had was in the 8th grade when I got my Nintendo GameCube Platinum style with the Wave Bird, nigga, with the Wave Bird. And I was just balling with the GameCube, right? Best Christmas ever. But you know, but it was never about that. It was never about like me getting gifts or us getting gifts to family. It was always about we're going to like everybody would come to my like my whole entire extended family would come to our house, like, and we would eat. Like it was just about that respect, time, fellowship, stuff like that. That's what it was about. It was never about gifts.
That's a different love language. That's quality time love language.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. So
that's what my family does too, and it's cheaper. It's very understanding. It's very understanding. It's good.
Well,
for everyone.
What I mean by culture is like my
it's
family
low maintenance,
and like let's be real, my family knows what it is. Like they know, like
for sure.
We're working hard over here. We're working hard to make our money, keep our money. Don't blow your money on me. I don't need your money.
Yeah,
like it was that sort of thing.
You to be like, I don't want you spending
like why are you spending this much money to get me a gift, bro? We're chilling. We're not like it was never like
as long as we're eating on that day. And then that's why Secret Santa is such a good smooth move, because it still gives the whole gift giving experience at a fraction of the cost.
But maybe I'll have to look into that.
Telling you, y'all draw names. The kids love it. They're all excited. Who has me? I think it's him.
Maybe we'll do that. I don't know. I'll ask. I'll talk into
And
that.
then since you're only buying one gift, you can make it like hey, raise the price a little bit if you want, but you put a limit. All right, look, all these gifts are under $25. Don't spend no more than $25.
Like my wife's mom's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, socks, underwear. Give me that. Like those are practical gifts that I could use all the time.
Magazines
but I need plenty of it. Bro, let's stop it. Let's talk about that for a minute. As you get older as an adult, like you remember like when you were a kid and your parents or your grandparents got you like underwear, socks, and stuff like that. And you were just like, what is this? I don't need these things. Now that I'm 30 plus, bro, you give me socks, I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? You give me underwear, I'm lit. Yeah, thank you. I needed these things. You know what I'm saying? And I had to use my money to get it. Now I got clean socks for a year. Now I got clean underwear for you. You know what I'm saying? Fresh. I'm feeling good. Son don't only wears banana hammocks. You got that right, son. You got that right. Only the best stuffs.
I just imagine you in a banana hammock, shirtless, walking to bed in the middle of the night.
All day, baby.
You're just
Millie rocking with my fat ass. But man, I'm just saying, bro, like, man, like you give me it was so funny when my mother-in-law asked me what I wanted, and I was like, this is what I want. Just I don't care, but I want that. She got me pajama pants, lit, socks, great, underwear, great. She got me Seahawks pajamas, cool, bad.
Oh yeah, man. That's what I say. If someone asked me, like in my family, like, what do you want for Christmas? I'll just say anything Suns. Anything with a Suns logo on it. I don't care what it is.
You know what?
Suns.
That's what I'm gonna tell my mother-in-law. Give me some Phoenix Suns.
Anything Suns. You know, a flag.
That's what I'm gonna tell her.
I'll be so happy with anything.
Phoenix Suns pajamas,
especially in Missouri, they're tough to come by. It's tough to find anything.
Give me that. Don't care. You know what? That's what we're doing this year.
Yeah.
And everybody in the Valley podcast, send us some gear for Christmas.
I was gonna say, tell your families.
Send your boys some gear.
Get you something to celebrate this 13-game win streak that Spurs fan Gary.
Yeah, Gary. Send me some gear, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Anything, bro. A keychain.
Not at all.
I swear, if I would have caught, because they were doing the t-shirt cannon, I was like, if I would have caught the t-shirt, I'd have been like, that's cool that I caught it, but like, who wants this? Because I'm not walking out of here with a damn Spurs shirt.
Could have mailed that to Gary.
I'll be damned.
You could have mailed that to Gary.
Yeah, that would have been the smooth move, but
like, this is for my best friend who's not here.
Instead, he would have FaceTime me, throwing it in the trash, like just walking out.
and I would rightfully so.
That's
Son,
okay.
give me your Addy. I need a PO box because I ain't trusting nobody with my real Addy. Y'all be looking me up on Google Maps and shit. Hell no. I need to get a PO box for that.
Oh man.
But that would be dope. Let me get a PO box and I'll hit you up. I need some Suns gear. That's for sure. I ain't got it. It's kind of wild, so I ain't got it yet. But I wanted to be a front runner first. Make sure we were winning games before I did all that.
Make sure that this winning was gonna stick around for a little while.
Right. No, it's just I never really got to it. Gabe convinced me to hop on the Suns bandwagon. What was that? 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I decided to after I beat my friend's ass with the Suns in 2K. I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it. I'm over here just draining threes with Booker. Swat, beat his ass. All right, cool.
All it took.
I'm a Suns fan now, apparently.
Gary, how'd you become a Spurs fan in Nebraska? I don't think you ever told. Was it your dad's favorite team?
No, my dad didn't even care about basketball. I started liking the Bills because of my dad.
Bills. Speaking of which,
I liked the Bulls obviously when everybody else did. And then I didn't like that everybody liked the Bulls.
Of course.
Because all my teams sucked, right? When I first started liking them. And the Spurs were bad. And I'd watched, it was old school, man. I think it was like a VHS tape of highlights. And George Gervin was one of the highlight reels. And I was like, oh, their shit looks cool, and like this dude's doing all this finger roll shit and everything. All the other highlights were people like dunking. That's the only dude. He wasn't really dunking. He was doing all this other shit. And that was the exact year they drafted David Robinson.
Ooh.
And I was watching his stuff. So I was like, all right, man. But then I heard about the whole not playing right away because he was still with the Navy or whatever. Like the whole story. I thought it was just cool. So I started watching them, following them. I liked their shit. Yeah. And they weren't, they were a playoff team, but they weren't great. And then the year of the strike or whatever it was when they had Duncan and beat the Knicks that first year, it all took off from there or whatever. But I liked them. Shit, I was probably in, I don't know, first, second grade.
Damn.
Maybe a little older. I can't remember, man. I'm horrible with dates, but.
Sunda, did you have a team before?
Yeah, I just saw that. No, I didn't have a team before. Like Gary said, when I was younger, because I'm close to Chicago and St. Louis doesn't have a team, we had WGN down here, and my dad just loved Michael Jordan. Like my dad loved Michael Jordan. Like my dad to this day, my dad can't stand LeBron because he's like, ain't nobody touching my dude MJ. Like my dad is that guy.
That's why I was so heated when I saw LeBron shy away from that fight.
Yeah. So my dad just he loved Michael Jordan. Like, and that's he just did. And so my dad made sure we would watch Bulls games on WGM when they was on. We watched those three, the three-peat when I was old enough to remember. The 95 was 95, 96, 97. We watched every game in those playoffs. My dad loved Jordan. So obviously I loved Jordan, growing up. Then Jordan retired. And I didn't really like the Bulls. I just liked Jordan. I never liked the Bulls. I just liked Jordan. And my favorite player after that was Tracy McGrady. I love T-Mac. Love T-Mac, bro. The way
he was at the game tonight.
Man, I love T-Mac so much, bro.
Yeah.
And then after that, I kind of stopped watching NBA for a little bit. Like not like stop, but I stopped following it. It was more of a casual watch there for a while. Like, oh, the Spurs won, cool. Oh, the Celtics won, cool. Lakers went on that roll that went on that run with the Gasol and Kobe teams, cool. And so I didn't really have a team. So Gabe convinced me to hop on the Suns.
You were close to going Bucks.
Yeah, because I like Giannis, bro.
You're close to going Bucks.
And here's a funny thing. Like, that's why when we lost to the Bucks, I'm gonna be real. Like, I was upset, but I was like, but it's the Bucks and it's Giannis and they built that thing right. I can't hate on them. I can be upset that we lost, but it was one of those like the best team won type feelings, right? and that's the best you can do because I like him. So yeah, that was my thing with the Bucks because
Bro,
I still to this day I love Giannis, even though he beat our ass. I love Giannis, bro, because Giannis has that competitive mentality. He has the old school mentality. Like, why am I trying to be your friend? I don't want to be your friend. I want to dominate you. Like,
yeah,
that's what I like about Giannis. He's just got that competitive spirit. So, but yeah, I almost was a Bucks fan just because of Giannis. But then you were like, nope, be a Suns fan. I was like, yeah,
I didn't even know you grew up a Bulls fan like that. That's crazy because I did too, man. My bedroom had like Bulls wallpaper. I had several Bulls posters like framed. Everything in my room was just red on my clothes, everything, my windbreak. Like I had the starter, bro. Like, like Bulls, like everything was because we're Bears and Cubs. My dad's from Chicago, and just like Missouri and Nebraska, you don't have no teams. You just usually like whatever your dad likes. But the reason I stopped liking the Bulls was because I understood the money situation. My dad explained it to me that they were letting Michael Jordan walk away because they didn't want to pay Phil Jackson, and Michael wouldn't play for anyone but Phil Jackson. And then Pippen's like, well, I'm going to leave too.
Yeah, well, they didn't want to pay Phil Jackson.
Right? He hated Phil. Yeah, we didn't know. We thought it was about
after we knew what it really was. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, you're telling me that I'm not going to get to watch Jordan win potentially one or two more,
right?
Because of money, and I just stopped watching basketball until Vince Carter and Allen Iverson.
That's what it was,
and
bro.
I was like,
AI. How can I forget AI? That was the other guy too.
So I was watching. That's Gary's favorite players.
I'm gonna be real. It was AI and T-Mac for me. I did not mess with. Everybody loved Kobe. I didn't fuck with Kobe. I didn't like Kobe.
Yeah, me neither.
There was something about Kobe that I didn't like, and
maybe I didn't like Kobe, but it was because of the Lakers Spurs deal.
That's fair enough. That's right. I just didn't like Kobe because it's probably because everybody was just on that man's nuts, and I'm like, he's not better than Jordan, so why are you on this man's nuts? He's not better than that was my stance on it.
Probably me too.
And I loved AI because he was a little guy, and that was one reason why I liked AI because I was always a short guy. So I had the questions. My mom bought me those when I was younger. Ugly ass shoes, but
how dare you, sir?
Some of them were.
They were ugly. The questions, the leather ones, bro. Those were ugly.
What color toe?
I don't remember. Mine were blue. Mine were the navy blue with the gold stuff on it. They were clean back then. You look at them now.
I wish I could find them right now. They're like $300 every time I find them.
Yeah.
No. I had the answer. Sorry, not the question. I had the answers.
Okay, the answers.
I had them too.
Yeah, the ones after that. Yeah.
I had
the mine were navy blue.
Ones that just the slip-ons too.
Yeah, I had the answers, not the questions, but I had the answers, and man, they were.
But bro, so I fell in love with basketball, fell in love with it for them, and then it wasn't until later on. I never had a team. I didn't care about teams till I moved to Phoenix. Started going to watch Phoenix games with Salty at this place called Native New Yorker. It was a wing place, and bro, just like the level of fandom at that place, it's like everybody was wearing like Barkley jerseys, and like the colorway was dope, and like I'm watching this team score like 130 a night with Nash and Amari and the Matrix and Barbosa and Raja Bell, and I was just intoxicating basketball. Didn't win no championships, but it was intoxicating basketball to watch. And then right as I was on the fence about like, I'm starting to like this team, I'm starting to care about this team, we traded for Shaq. And I was like, let's go. We're finally going to win.
Y'all didn't.
Idiot.
Michael has a question. Who would you rather root for, LeBron or Kobe? Now Kobe now. Even though I hated Kobe, like growing up, at the end of Kobe's career, I had a respect for Kobe. I had a big respect for Kobe. And I turned on him because I used to hate that man. Toward the end of his career, I kind of realized what he was and how he was, and I learned to appreciate Kobe and respect Kobe toward the end. Same with LeBron. Like we talked about this But
reverse for me.
no. Listen to me.
Utmost respect for
Listen to
him.
me. I liked LeBron. I rooted for LeBron all the years in Cleveland. When he made the decision, that's when I lost respect. When he went back to Cleveland, I still didn't like him. But when he won that championship, and it became a respect, but I still don't like the man, if that makes sense. Like when he went to Miami, I was like, man, screw LeBron. He's garbage.
When Kyrie Irving won that title?
Doesn't matter. I agree with you on that one. I've had that argument with plenty of LeBron fans. They don't want to hear that one, but that's a different story. But when that happened, I had a respect for LeBron. Still didn't like him, but I had a respect for him as a person.
We love Trae Young.
And I respect this game. I love Trae Young, bro.
Yeah.
I love Trae Young.
What about you, Gary? What do you think about Trae Young?
I like him.
I thought you were going to hate.
I love Trae Young. He don't play defense, but I love Trae Young.
Nobody
I like his attitude. His attitude's very Iverson-like, without the gangster stuff and the tattoos, and but that's just because the NBA is different nowadays. But he reminds me of Iverson.
Do you think he's going bald, or what do you think that is?
Who?
Trae Young. If you take a look at his hair, it's really interesting.
Trae Young looks like he looks like one of those biker chicks that lived a hard life and like cleaned up, and now she's like, the after effects are still there, but she's back.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
Huh?
That's not where I thought you were going with that. New York fans were saying that he looks like a Q-tip that was rolled around in like hair and got hairs stuck to it.
Hold on. Pedro. Here's the deal, Pedro. I'm going to say this real quick. He said, I'm not a LeBron fan, but he carried that team to the finals. Kyrie just hit the 3-dagger. Wrong. And I'll tell you why you're wrong. And I'm not going to cuss you out like Salty. If you recall, Game 5.
You fuck face.
If you recall, in Game 5 of that finals, the Warriors were about to win. And Kyrie dropped 30 on their ass. And LeBron was nowhere to be found. And I always say, if it wasn't for that Game 5 where Kyrie shows up, there is no Game 7 for LeBron to go to. None. That series would have completely been done. So,
plus,
yes, Kyrie.
Ray Allen bailed him out.
Well, that's different. So, yes, Kyrie did hit that dagger 3 in what was it, Game 7? But I will always give Kyrie credit for Game 5. Game 5 was him saving that series. So, anyway, go on. Hey. Oh, remix.
Horseman.
Don't do that ever again, please.
You need to add that into the banger, bro.
I can't really copyright it.
No, you won't. There's no way an algorithm is going to hear horseman. There's no way you can get copyrighted.
What if like one day we get played for, I don't know.
Never gonna
I don't know.
And like the intro should be like, did I hear anyone?
Jose says it's faded. You showed up late, Jose. He said faded. I'm glad you're having a good night. Suns win, baby. We out this thing.
We'll see you guys in a couple of days. Hopefully we keep this winning streak going, man. We'll see you guys. Appreciate you guys coming out this late night. Have a good one.
Horseman.